Easily one of the coolest female characters of all time and one of my personal favorites, Monica. Let's get into it. You guys already know about the standard heavy hitters in Marvel: Hercules, Thor, blah, 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 Hulk. She's considered one of the powerhouses in this same category, even though she's different in some degree. She hits hard because of a different reason, because she can turn into different forms of energy, and she's a woman with near limitless power. Monica, the being that can turn into blinding light to blind the beast, the Hulk himself. The great thing about her is that she can change into her different modes or forms, one could say. You got her base form, her human mode, where you can touch her, flesh and blood mode, but then she has a large variety of different energy modes she can switch between. And depending on which energy she uses, she looks different with a different glow or a different color. Whether it's electricity, X-ray, light, fusing with other beings, turning into light so she don't have to breathe in space or travel in space. Just a lot of different modes she can turn into. You're going to see a lot of that stuff in this video, though. Monica, one of the best energy projectors in my opinion. And let's not talk about crossover fun with her battling the Green Lantern in the Marvel vs. DC crossover. Being able to mimic Green Lantern energy, let me stop. Even though I gotta admit, if this was something you wanted to take serious, I do believe she probably could copy Green Lantern energy. I mean, she can copy every form of other energy she comes across. Let's get it. You can also call her Captain Marvel if you like. People with superpowers gotta have these absurd origins. You know, she was basically trying to do the right thing, going to a dictator's place. Going to this dictator's base, for example, to attempt to destroy this energy weapon. Of course, the things don't go right. And of course, she was bombarded by its extraordinary energies. That's how she had gained the power to convert her physical form into pure energy. You're going to see a lot of this in this video, but yeah, she has the ability to transform her body into any form of electromagnetic energy, from radio waves to X-rays and every wavelength in between, blah, blah, blah. You're going to see a lot of this in this video. And if you need visuals on how this stuff happens, I mean, in newer comments, they even explain it like this. They're saying New Orleans Harbor Patrol Lieutenant Monica destroyed a superweapon. She gained the ability to convert her body into any form of energy, inheriting the Captain Marvel title. Even back in the day, before the super freak accident stuff, she had powers at a young age. She hid and suppressed them. So in new lore, it's like she kind of just had her abilities even young. See, here's the thing. She hid what she was for so long, she actually thought her power went away when it really didn't. Imagine if freak accidents happen like this in real life and we got abilities because of stuff like this without dying. Just a normal citizen that used to work for the government, trying to rise in the rankings of the hierarchy, of course. Like, she was a lieutenant. She was trying to rise to the ranks of captain and stuff. So naturally, thanks to these type of things, this would kind of explain why she can kind of fight without necessarily relying on her super abilities. Occasions like this prove it. Without necessarily enhancing herself with her light abilities, she handles herself against these gangsters right here, for example. Even though I will admit she specializes in blast power, it's nice to see characters just straight up punch. The good old fashioned punch now and then. You know, any character that can do hard work and dedication, I respect. Different handbooks about her add new stuff about her. Stated here how she's good at hand-to-hand combat, received Harbor Patrol training, Avengers training, and unarmed combat by Captain America, which you can see in this video. Proficient marksman with her handgun. And all this stuff is without deep diving into her powers. I mean, it's a reason why she's in good shape. She exercises. I like comic panels that actually show this. Since she's been a part of almost every major organization when it comes to superheroes, of course she's gotten in training sessions with Captain America, like I mentioned 2 seconds ago. So on top of the abilities she has, she can actually fight thanks to Captain America helping her out, on top of her own training from being a lieutenant. It's occasions like this you see her using chops on beings, karate chops. You got occasions like this and newer stuff where she catches a sword, showing her fighting skills, and then uses the sword. You know, I'm a big fan of just straight up sticking people with hands. So it's satisfying seeing her murk these dudes, or these goons. I mean, she hit this dude so hard into the wall, to where the impact cracked the wall. It's cool seeing her punch large things like this, for example, even when she's not necessarily spamming energy mode, showing her punches or blunt punches are strong too. And then, of course, you know, she'll do her classic blast, working alongside Carol, Captain Marvel, of course. And when we're talking about her abilities, of course, she has a costume. The costume itself has to be special. Stated here about the scientificness of her outfit, it had to be composed of unstable molecules. She's one of the most versatile characters because we already know about this. I've already said this 1,000 times in this video already, how she can transform to any form of electromagnetic energy. But what you probably didn't know is that even when she's in her normal, hard, human-ish form, she's still basically living energy, you know, when she was talking with Blue Marvel here. Even when she gets in contact with new forms of energy, she can mimic it, turn into light, radio waves, X-rays. It has its benefits of being an X-ray because she's silent, unseen stream that goes through solid objects, going through floor to floor, intangibility style. Along with radio waves, she can turn into cosmic rays or even gamma rays. She can basically talk to you through the TV and then just come over She said she just beamed in as a VHF radio wave. She can send messages via radio waves. She doesn't need coordinates because she can just follow the radio signal. Changing into radio waves helps her to get to places a lot better than other places, like going to Avengers Mansion. When I say versatile, I mean versatile enough to get small and shrink into circuitry, or do some giant man type stuff and turn huge, bigger than buildings. Like, look at the buildings right here, bigger than buildings. She can increase her vision by sending out little minions that she can see through, technically. Like, these little small little probes, they're literally part of her. It helps her see in places where she's not physically at the moment, basically being reinforcements. One can say she can make light constructs of herself or light forms of herself, light images. One can say that's how she's able to make holograms of herself to fool people if she needs to. Can make light images of herself, like, yo, some multiform stuff. So they was fighting this goddess Nyx, right? She put light avatars around the being's children so Nyx would attack her own children because she thought they was Avengers. So that's crazy. The bad guy just killed her own allies, basically, because she tricked her because she thought they were Avengers. One could say she can touch or hit intangible stuff. I mean, she's kind of intangible too, so one could say she can try to help the ghost out here. Like, check this out. Even her abilities is technically scientific. She was able to weave her light into magic sigil-looking stuff. Because you know how magic's all about, you know, doing hand signs and sigils and all that stuff. She can kind of mimic it by doing her own, stating that part of what makes magic work is believing in it. And it was actually working when it comes to the thing they was trying to accomplish. She was trying to keep these beings from possessing them, and it was working. Can literally change her appearance to look like other folks, like looking like Blue Marvel. This is funny. Who knew being able to turn into light means you can shapeshift? She could easily be a spy when she can pretend to be beings like this. I mean, just imagine trying to punch light. She can literally turn into light, so stuff will go right through her. One can say she has a form of intangibility, because how do you physically punch light? Magneto can put his shields up, we can see her physically go through it, stating certain forms of energy can pass through a shield, right? Or you got occasions like this when she literally flies through the moon. Like, why would you even try to shoot somebody made of light? Right here, for example. Trying to hit her with an axe, bullets, even other forms of energy is pointless to try to hit her, because even Hawkeye's arrows can't even hit her. This comes in handy when people try to use radiation against her. She won't be affected in her light form. Even sky gods like Zeus, lightning goes through her because she transformed her body into intangible light. She can fly through a star because of her ability to change forms of energy to withstand that kind of heat, to save somebody, of course. Can turn invisible by bending the light around her so she's not visible to the naked eye. She apparently has no scent. She's one of those characters where she is hard to touch, but she's not untouchable. But there are other beings that have Hex abilities that can contain her, even though she can eventually blast her way out, but there's beings that can hit her, touch her, or contain her energy. Like these fields can hold her. Like this super condensed energy screen can contain her. She can be hurt because of blades like the ebony blade. Like, there's a lot of hexy different types of equipment in Marvel. So yeah, she can be hit. Like, there's certain things like magic that's her counter, stated here. She has super senses, which makes sense because she's made of energy. Like, she got some cosmic awareness type stuff. You got occasions like this where she's kind of searching the area for energy signatures with her abilities. Thanks to her cosmic awareness, she can tell you when something doesn't belong in their universe. I mean, she's literally able to look through and scan through a building. I mean, yeah, that looks like some super duper senses to me. Anything energy related, yeah, she probably can sense you, man. You're not going to be able to hide from her. It's because of her versatile ability she can take on Haxy beings. One can say she's a Haxy character. She had to battle a being that was, instead of being living energy, he is living thought. So she basically had to take on a being that was made of like a pure psionic type being. Thanks to her Haxy ability, she definitely was able to take this being on because she's an Avenger. She's a real good asset when it comes to enhancing other beings that have some sort of energy manipulation. Like here, for example, she can become a living neuroelectricity link to link everybody's minds together to help team battles. I know this isn't Dragon Ball Z, but she seems to be the master of fusion when it comes to energy manipulative type stuff. Like, she can actually make She-Hulk more powerful by not only turning it into gamma radiation, something that She-Hulk gets powered up by, but she can also, one could say, fuse with her to become a more powerful entity. So no matter how you look at it, Spectrum is and always will be an asset, because if she's not a help, she can just amp you up. She does the same thing with Blue Marvel, turning into a fused being with these two merging together to increase their raw power. And, you know, two Captain Marvel's fusion, basically one Spectrum, one's Carol. She fused with her to make themselves an even powerful more powerful being to help in the foe a lot easier. Look, she enters Vision's body as electricity here. Like, she's always fusing. She was able to relay a message inside Captain Marvel to relay coordinates. She can basically fuse with shields that are already up, mimicking it because she can control energy and all that good stuff. Even if you want to say she doesn't necessarily fuse with the character, she can still do stuff like absorb energy to increase her power even more if there's other energy manipulators around. Like in this occasion, absorbing Blue Marvel and Captain Marvel's energy, for example. She's basically a better version of Electro because she can manipulate electricity and drain beings with electric ability. But how hard can this girl hit? How hard can she punch or kick? And what the heck is her blast power? Like, you know, because of energy projection, she can blast outward without necessarily punching or kicking. Let's start off with destructive feats that are pretty lightweight, like blowing through walls. Is this really a surprise that Monica's Spectrum can do this? She has precise control of her blast where she can knock you out instantaneously with a finger blast, or just straight fly through you to damage you. Space shuttle, she can blast through. A hallway of approaching vampires, she can blast. Melting holes. It's just a normal day. Tiger, you get knocked out with an energy blast. Using her speed in combat, just flying through mindless ones with ease. There was these kelp that was as tough as steel holding her. Just a small amount of her energy can bust through all of this and set her free. With a simple snap of her fingers, she can create explosions that are decently wide. She has the kind of blast power that can damage jeeps. She has omnidirectional attacks. She can shoot from all directions and blast up all these different robots and split them all into pieces. She can blast with 1,000,000 kilovolts of electricity. And it was straight up stated on panel that she can blast with a 1/4 kiloton force kind of blast. Proving we got a bare minimum of 250 tons of blunt force she can put out with her blast. That is definitely an oversimplification on what her max is because she can blast part of skyscrapers or part with her energy projective type of blast. So without a doubt, she can blast buildings down by just shooting her energy blast outward. I mean, we've seen her knock Spider-Man back with a blast, one of the many beings she has encountered in her adventures. Spider-Man's web, she can stretch and rip with her blast. We've seen her blast the Wasp. When you can turn into petawatt lasers and blast that do this much damage to ships and stuff or big aircrafts, it kind of proves she can easily level buildings if she needed. I mean, it's obvious she can level buildings when she can get bigger than buildings by growing. Duh. I mean, she can enter into beings' bodies, like Scarlet Witch's. She can transform into neural electricity and enter Scarlet Witch's mind so she can copy magic sigils. No matter which era we're talking about, when it comes to her blast power, leveling buildings should be a piece of cake. It's obvious she can blow through ships. You got a case like this that pretty much proves she can blast through mountains. She's the reason that pretty much helped Iron Man have the blast power to blast through this mountain, for example. Proving that her blast herself, if she wanted to, can blast through mountains if need be. I mean, she did state that she has shattered force fields from entire whole starships, so that kind of makes sense. And this stuff I've been showing you so far is her like blasting. I haven't even got on the fact yet she can turn her actual body into light itself and attack you as light. Like right here, she's not actually light, she's just blasting with it, but she can actually turn her whole body into light as well. It's stuff like this that makes her having physical super strength irrelevant because she doesn't really need physical super strength when she can fly as light hard enough to where she can go through actual tanks and obliterate multiple of them. Pluto tanks, for example. She's just blitzing through them with her speed and stuff. She has enough raw power to fly and blast through satellites. Her just ramming into it in her light form, she obliterates this like castle island, just a big chunk of it with her attacks, just to show how hard she can hit. It was stated by narration when she's blasting. In this particular occasion, they state if these attacks were to be heard, they will be heard worldwide. That's how much destructive power they're blasting with. She's a part of the reason why this blast is this crazy. She's literally light speed. She can hit things while attacking as hard light. She even stated she could shatter the planet into rubble if she was to do this. Statements like this pretty much confirm she can attack with so much power and force she could blow up the entirety of Earth. By default, smaller planets than Earth, for example, planetoids like the moon itself, she shouldn't have no problem trembling or obliterating it just by ramming into it. So there was like this energy net surrounding this planetoid. You ever wonder how tough that web is, stated here? Messes up this net shield surrounding this planetoid. Big constructs of energy she can fly and mess up. Now, I just thought this would be a good time to go over her speed. I mean, part of the reason she can hit so hard is because she can travel so fast in a straight line. Because it's stated here, she can accelerate to the speed of light itself. She can accelerate to light speed in just the span of a thought. Of course, keeping up with missiles is easy to her. Characters like Rogue, who are decently fast, she can easily catch up to her. These meteors, she can maneuver around, showing her fighting speed, and can react and shoot them out of the air. Close range missiles, she can react to. To really be able to get anywhere in space, it kind of shows her speed too. She like flying around the moon, for example, then says, oh, let me go back to Earth. Flying to Paris, it just shows that when they say she can move at light speed, it's literally proven on panel she can actually travel that fast. It's one thing flying in space and getting distance in space, but when you can fly close to the sun or around it, that proves light speed too. Matter of fact, she was so close to it, she could feel the tug of the gravitational field. I mean, the distance between Earth and Pluto is way farther than the other planets in the solar system. One can argue saying that she's only light speed is actually a low ball. I mean, she just be casually flying interstellar distances like it's no big deal. Oh, it's just 4.9 billion miles away. But it was stated that it took over half an hour to get this far. Over 1 billion miles away, she's flying past different planets, traveled to the edge of the solar system where there orbits the starship known as Sanctuary. Even in newer stuff, you can see her flying through the vacuum of space, traveling interstellar distances. She's fast enough to search the entirety of the Atlantic Ocean. You guys know how big these oceans can be. And she does it in freaking 3 seconds because of her ability to move at light speed. I mean, you got a case like this, it was explicitly stated to be explicitly able to move at 186,000 miles per second, being fast enough to travel around the globe in less than 2 seconds. She's one of those characters where when you're traveling at crazy speeds, it's a little scary. If you don't have the reflexes to see where you're going, you can run into things when you're moving at these speeds. Monica actually has fighting speed or reflexes to be able to react to stuff while she's flying at these speeds. Meaning, if she was like running through a city, she would be able to make sharp turns without hitting nobody to show off her speed. It's like reflexes. She can actually see where she's going. Because it's even explained when she's in her light form, everything around her starts standing still, everything but her, slow motion. This lets you know that she actually has fighting speed. This is a great example of it. She was able to search through an entire building at light speed, even though nobody's in there. You got occasions like this, for example, that show that she can maneuver while in motion at this kind of speed. That's why she's a big fan of speed blitzing, taking out vampires with her speed at the speed of light, zigzagging all over the place before they can even do anything. There's a lot of Avengers and powerful beings in this scan, and it's stated that they seem to be frozen in place when she's moving at her speeds, just to show how much faster she's moving than everybody. She got reflexes because she was able to take out communications by going really fast, and she was able to take them out in microseconds. A microsecond is 1/1,000,000th of a second, by the way. Now, this is where it gets scary. Even if there's beings that have time manipulation, beings that can slow down time, Monica is so fast where even if you do this, Monica's so fast she's still not frozen. Because it's stated, even if you slow the speed of light to a standstill, it's still a lot faster than you. 1,000 light speed attacks. It's pointless when she's in her light form. You cannot hit her. She's got too much combat speed. Her speed is so crazy, even compared to Quicksilver. She makes Quicksilver look like a joke in combat speed or just speed in general. Captain America even agrees that her speed makes Quicksilver look like a joke. And it's proven. She's been called the fastest Avenger. Yep, she even got in an entanglement with the god of speed, Hermes. This is the implication that she could be faster than light. Treating somebody like this when it comes to speed as a joke. When you consider the fact there's comics where Hermes has ran from Olympus to Earth. Stated right here, speeds towards Earth. Mere seconds passed. Hermes was able to travel this distance in seconds. That's millions of light years he passed in seconds. So I know it was stated nothing's faster than light, but we've seen Hermes go way faster than light before, and she still was able to outspeed him. So it implies she could go way faster than light if we was to take these calculations seriously. I mean, I know the writers probably ain't doing all these calculations, but I'm just food for thought. So after analyzing all this speed and stuff, it's no wonder she has feats of where she could believe she could punch a planet apart. I mean, actually punching planets apart as a powerhouse in Marvel, it's like a normal day in the life anyway. I mean, for example, you got characters like Marvel Hercules have stated he has the power or strength enough to shake the universe, despite Hercules having this kind of strength and durability because his body can withstand his recoil of his own punches. Monica has enough blast power to cause harm to characters like Hercules, implying that she's way above planet shattering level. And just when you think it's a fluke, she blasted him here. She's able to shock Hercules out of mind control, messes up the goddess Artemis with electric energy attacks. You can get an idea of her blast power. She's able to damage Thor by going in Iron Man's armor to help blast and hurt Thor. She's in a dark realm where there's nothing but darkness, but she's the only light source. She was able to illuminate in this dimension with her own light. So when you add on the fact that she can actually damage Hercules, Namor, beings that can shake the universe, teaming up with other powerhouses like Blue Marvel and Captain Marvel, she can hold her weight. She was a helpful aid in staggering beings like Galactus, somebody that's way past planet-shattering level. And I think we all can agree when it comes to base states, she's got to be somewhere in the ballpark of other Captain Marvel beings like Carol when it comes to her blast power. If we assume Spectrum can do something like this, melt a hole in a star, I think this proves that Spectrum's blast power could blast a hole in a star, which would make her leagues upon leagues above Earth-shattering level, which is believable, having the power to delete a sun when you're a powerhouse in Marvel. This is like normal stuff. I mean, you got statements like this that state that she has the power of the sun at her disposal, which makes sense literally, her being able to blow up stars or blast a hole through one like other Captain Marvels can. You know how there's different Captain Marvels? You got the original, the man one, you got the female one, Carol, you got Spectrum, you know. She should be around both of these guys' range of power. Because we've seen her blast affect such beings, it makes sense with her lore. And she's mighty enough to actually get a W on a Captain Marvel tier when he has like nigga bands, for example, like in his veil. One could say this is a hacksy way. She was able to make the field constricted, suffocating him, making him black out. She's hacksy. And then you got proof of her power when there's beings like Pluto who don't see Hercules or gods like Thor to be considered a threat to him. But yet we've seen Monica at least attempt to blast at him here. Then you got Skyfathers like Zeus. I'm not trying to say she's up there with Zeus or nothing, but remember what Zeus did to Hulk, one of the strongest beings in the Marvel Universe. We've seen her blast steam characters like Zeus. He even said, "Gah!" She even pulled up on Zeus and bombarded him with a blast by charging into him, to where even the powerhouses in the area are kind of looking like, wow, this is impressive. Well, I will admit she's not as strong as Zeus. Even she was shocked. Yeah, Zeus is just a Skyfather back in these days. He's too strong. It's interesting that Spectrum couldn't harm Zeus back in the day, but in newer S-type comics, we see this being known as Nyx pretty much killed Zeus. Temporarily, of course, he got resurrected. One can say the writers forgot about stuff like this, but somebody that killed Zeus, Monica's still able to harm her in her electric form in this particular occasion. This could imply that Spectrum has gotten stronger over the years, who knows, hurting a being that killed a Skyfather. If you can damage any Hulk, that's impressive. It's shown that she can hang and damage Hulk-ish centric type characters like She-Hulk, for example. Like her blast can damage her to prove furthermore she's in that powerhouse range with the powerhouses by being electricity, basically. One of her more hacks abilities is like going inside your eyes. It's like going inside you and frying you from the inside out, zapping brains. She's done this on different beings before. A cosmic S-type being like Shuma Gorath, who is able to tackle beings like Dormammu. Like, she's not on the level of a cosmic being like this, of course, but she was able to help mess up his physical body. Not his full might and glory, though, but this is still impressive that, yeah, this kind of proves she is a powerhouse. To split apart his body like this. She even pulled up on Thanos to go in light mode, to go inside his head like this, but Thanos is just too strong. So this technique of zapping your insides or your brain junk doesn't work on everybody. He has mental energies that can, block her from doing it in this particular occasion. It's already proven she's a powerhouse at this point, but passing through Magneto's shields to get the advantage over him that way is just a hacksy way to be a powerhouse too. To get the jump on him. He looks like he's in discomfort. There was this being that was fighting in the same comic. This dude that was given Vision and Iron Man issues. And strong enough to contain multiple powerhouses like Wonder Man and even Hercules. She was able to stagger such a powerful being like this, ramming into him, light form. You remember Kang the Conqueror? Check out my video I got about him. He's an extremely powerful Team Buster type character. She almost overloaded his shieldings, despite his tech being futuristic. Kang himself even admitted she's going to overload his shield in moments. She's about to do this by herself. Blast seems to affect almost any threat they come across because she can become infrared heat. Even beings that are supposedly energy absorbers she can mess up, even though she's energy. Bye-bye to Killmonger. Beings like Uluk, who always be scrapping with Thor, she can harm with a blast of light. Blast and sends Gamora flying. Beings like Sasquatch she can damage when her beam got deflected here. You got beings, hell lordish, scary, spooky type characters like Nightmare. We've actually seen her blast. I'm not saying she's nowhere near as strong as the Beyonder, but when Beyonder himself takes the time to give you props saying that your power, your energies are powerful, it's respect. She has to be a powerhouse with the big leagues. In some beings' opinion, they state she's the most powerful Avenger. Even Zemo has respect for her, calling her the mightiest Avenger. Even powerful beings like Iron Man himself state she's someone very powerful. And they're talking about a captain stated here, narration, Captain Marvel Photon is powerful. There's even comments like this that state she's one of the most powerful, cosmically enabled beings anywhere in any iteration of the universe. She's so powerful that beings have to monitor people on her level. Like, you see this whole lab, like, monitoring her because she's so freaking powerful, and they call her, she's like the result of an event. I mean, we've never seen her actually level a galaxy, but when you think about and look on my page and seeing the other feats of these other powerhouses have done, like Hulk, Hercules, Thor, and the stuff these type of characters has done, and she's considered a powerhouse like them, one could say she could be somewhere in the ballpark of having the strength or blast power to tremble a solar system, destroy one, tremble a galaxy or multiple galaxies. One could say her blast could possibly delete a galaxy, because this is something Marvel powerhouses can do in Marvel Comics. She's up there with the big leagues. There's a good chance she can do this type of stuff as well. It would just kind of add up. For her to be considered in the ballpark with these beings, she got to be somewhere in that neighborhood. Okay, a good idea to get an understanding of how strong she is, really. See, here's the thing. The universe was kind of destabilizing. Like, there was like a literal crisis going on. This is part of the reason why the Beyonder's here in the first place, because something was breaking down the dimensional walls. And he can only sense her energy because she technically was the reason for it without her even knowing it. It was so crazy. She thought this was the source of this universe disruption type stuff, but it really wasn't. Like, it was literally stated she broke the universe. Like, that's why everything's acting crazy. Stated again here, this is how they explain it. They say this is how she is. A rock hits a windshield. She's the windshield, she asks. She says, no, you're the rock. The universe is fragmented, fractured, splintering out with you at the center. All this is caused because of her, and she can't even really figure out why everything's cracking or disorienting with her in the middle. She's the rock, and the universe is the windshield being fragmented. She wants to get back to her reality when there's no fixing getting back. You got to fix this fracture crap that's going on. And then that's when they go on explaining how she's one of the most cosmically empowered characters in the universe and any iteration of the universe, because she could have grave consequences for the fabric of reality. Again, she's literally breaking reality. This device that she thought was the issue for the universe acting stupid, this actually wasn't the problem. That's when she started getting frustrated. Why am I the problem? Why is everybody, she's just ranting and stuff. Okay, so you guys remember Owen Reese, you know, the Molecule Man, the guy that, a being that can destroy about dang near infinite universes, right? Like a cosmic century type being that can fight the Beyond himself. Somebody that's so powerful that catches Beyonder's attention is kind of crazy, guys. Apparently her just being stressed out is causing the universe to collapse. Like, what? Basically, if she doesn't figure out some mental peace, the universe is going to collapse, apparently. They'll let you know how strong powerhouses in Marvel can be. Even stated here in the description about the comic, about how she's the cause of reality breaking, not the stone. It's all because of her fractured mental state doing something to the universe itself. Stated here, she was literally creating fissures because she was causing it. The longer it stays or lingers, her stress lingers, not knowing who she is lingers, it causes more chaos. And she keeps asking the question, what chaos? What's going to hasten? Oh, something akin to the total destruction of the universe as the fabric of reality rends and wrenches itself apart with you at the center. Like, it's statements here that imply this does have something to do with her mental state. They're trying to find whatever the problem is in her mind so we can restore reality. Like, you can literally see in this panel with her meditating and concentrating with help, of course, you see this big old bull crap. After she had this like big epiphany, she's enough. Once she realized that, she was able to heal these fissures in the universe, these cracks in reality. And it's even stated here, it is paused. The maelstrom is paused. Everything is frozen. It's because of her epiphany. Never underestimate her true might. It's dissipating just because of her mental state getting better. And then the way they ended it, they even talked about, I don't think I've ever truly reckoned with how powerful you really are. Just imagine almost collapsing the universe because you're kind of stressed out. Or simply your subconscious is just causing space and time to disorient. But that's none of my business. But at the end of the day, all of this stuff could be just me. You got to respect her might, regardless of your opinion about her. But before I get going, I got to say thanks for the donations, everybody. Helps a lot. Respect Monica, Spectrum, Photon, Captain Marvel, wherever you want to call her. I'm glad you are enjoying your time on the channel. Make sure you check out the playlist on the channel to see other How Strong videos. If you like what this channel is offering, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys later.